Welcome, friends. Every year, people all over the world set new records, and some of them are really amazing. Some grow vegetables of gigantic sizes, others sit in the snow for several dozen hours, and yet others have learned to juggle powered-up saws. These types of achievements can be exchanged indefinitely. These people share one goal: they want to be popular. Few people know that there are also such records that establish entire groups by agreeing on all the details beforehand. They are usually followed by companies and brands popular all over the world. Today, we will tell you about the most shocking and amazing records. Get ready! We present you with an extremely impressive spectacle in which a huge number of colorful balloons rises high into the sky. Such an experimental show was decided by the representatives of the United Way of Cleveland charity. They organized a great performance called Balloon Fest '86. You may ask, what was it for them? In fact, the organizers wanted to pay attention to their activities and at the same time set a new world record. Imagine that 1.5 million balloons were inflated with helium, which were kept under a special, huge net to remove it at the right moment and capture what will happen to them on the camera. At the most important moment, everything was going wrong. First of all, there were very bad weather conditions. However, a rainy and windy day did not scare the organizers at all. The show cost $500,000. At the time of the show, it was necessary to close the local airport, so no one was going to move the event to another day. As a result, colorful balloons like a huge colorful cloud flew into the sky. Very soon the company began to have serious problems. The heavy rain caused the balloons to fall to the ground, and the wind could disperse them all over Cleveland. Balloons fell into Lake Erie, which paralyzed the work of the Coast Guard. They also blocked the Belle Lakefront Airport runway for 30 minutes. As a result, several lawsuits totaling $3 million have been filed against United Way. The record has been broken, but the disgust remained. Some companies are ready for anything for the most original and cost-effective advertising. For example, MTV Networks became a new world record holder in 2016 before the Video Music Awards ceremony. How MTV has entered into an agreement with Branding by Air, which deals with airspace booking, as it turned out to set a record. On August 24, 2016, the largest screen in the world hung over New York. To this end, 3 helicopters were engaged. One of them held a huge banner, and the other 2 emitted the image acting as a projector. Why was this done? To display on it an MTV advertisement in which they were invited to vote for the nominees for Video Music Awards. In 2017, Jaguar did something amazing to draw attention to its new car. Together with the famous Terry Grant, they managed to set a new world record. To do this, the stuntman who was behind the wheel of the latest Jaguar I-Pace car had to make the longest barrel in history. This is a complicated figure that planes usually do. Grant had to be extremely focused because he was doing a trick jealous of James Bond film producers would do. The figure is that the car must rotate at least 270 degrees in the air without changing the direction of travel, and then safely land on all 4 wheels. Put simply, this is an incomplete turn around its axis. However, considering the fact that the Jaguar I-Pace is an ordinary car that is not intended for making such figures, the record can be considered impressive. Land Rover is a company that is not used to modesty when it comes to advertising. Imagine that the producers of this advertisement used almost 6 million Lego bricks to build the Tower Bridge model. The project was created in a Parisian car dealership, and the construction itself lasted about a year. Its height was almost 13 meters, and the building was able to withstand the weight of 2 cars. To better illustrate the enormity of the work done by Land Rover owners, imagine that if we put all the blocks used in the construction in one line, their total length would be 321 kilometers. Impressive. Last year, a world record was set for the number of drones launched in the air. This took place in South Korea during the opening of the Winter Olympic Games. The project was supervised by Intel, which simultaneously controlled a huge number of drones, and it was 1,218 devices. What's more, the band organized a real show that delighted the viewers with their artistry. All drones moved synchronously representing different characters. The show ended with recreating the Olympic symbol, 5 intersecting rings. The well-known company LG Electronics decided to stand out and create a completely unique advertisement for its washing machine, which was produced in 2016. To implement their idea, LG representatives decided to contact Brian Berg, architect buildings with cards. It turns out that building a house out of playing cards is a hobby of his life. He spent years learning how to find suitable construction sites. After accepting LG's proposal, Brian spent 12 hours at work. It is interesting that this peculiar house of cards was built by a man on a washing machine which was spinning constantly at 1,000 revolutions per minute. And he succeeded. It is worth noting that originally it was planned to build a house with 20 floors, but Brian decided to complicate the task and built as many as 48 floors. It's unbelievable 200 sets of cards were needed to set this record. We will assume that each of you once encountered a similar situation in your life. You ordered a pizza, you are very hungry, and there is no supplier. Although it was promised to arrive soon, unpleasant, right? Now imagine that someone had to wait 4 days for a pizza. You do not believe? In fact, the pizza had to be delivered to a height of 5,895 meters to Mount Kilimanjaro. Pizza Hut Africa and Yum undertook this difficult mission. This event was scheduled before the opening of a new chain restaurant in Tanzania. It was even the 100th country in which Pizza Hut opened its conquests. Pepperoni pizza, because it was ordered, was first transported by car, then by plane, and finally brought on its hands before it was eaten. One day, in front of the house of a 3-year-old who was interested in large cars, a beautifully packed real truck-like truck appeared. It was another advertising campaign for the world brand of Volvo cars. On this day, the organizers of the event managed to do 2 important things at once: provide joy to the child and at the same time set a world record. The boy could enter the cabin of a real truck, watch cartoons inside, drink juice, but most importantly unpack such a large gift. What was the meaning of this record? It consisted in the fact that only one person dealt with unpacking and the packaging was not damaged. To be honest, it's difficult to say how it happened, especially since the unpacking took a 3-year-old child. However, this strange record has been set, but it is not everything. Volvo has recently surprised everyone again, this time with the fastest truck in the world. She was called the Iron Knight and has already been the record holder twice. Her first achievement was the fastest ride on a distance of 500 meters. We managed to develop the speed to 132 kilometers per hour and overcome the distance in just 13.71 of a second. But when the Swedish rally driver Bojge Overbrink sat behind the wheel, the Iron Knight accelerated to 169 kilometers per hour at a kilometer distance in just 21.29 of a second. Not bad, what? This world record belongs to BMW. The brand was distinguished by the longest drift. This is a special driving technique consisting in the fact that the car falls into a controlled slip that allows it to rotate without losing speed. BMW managed to make a record-long drift. It lasted 8 hours. To do this, the team chose a small, perfectly round track. You will probably ask, how at that time the car was running out of fuel? Well, he was refueled on the road. Of course, this is very dangerous, so there was a fire truck in full readiness nearby. The BMW N5 was used to set the record, covering a total of just over 374 km in 8 hours. That's all for today. Write in the comments if you liked it. You can like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon to not miss interesting materials.